Y'all don't know this, but I'm about to my husband y'all to death, okay? What's up guys, it's your girl BooksWithBonnie and I'm back with another effing video. Today's video is all about my June TBR / current reads. Have I started reading? Yes, I've been on vacation for my wedding, surprise, surprise. So I wanted to make sure that I went over these books with you guys today. So before I jump into that, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to everybody who wished me and I was gonna say fiance, he's my husband now. my husband. Y'all don't know this, but I'm about to my husband y'all to death, okay? I am a whole wife. Do you see these earrings? Misses. Anywho, let's jump right into this. So just a quick update. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who wished me and my husband good graces. I really, really appreciate all the love and affection on my Instagram, my Twitter, and even here on YouTube. So I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you for the very, very warm welcome and wishes. That being said, I have decided not to post my registry on social media whatsoever, so you guys would not have access to it. And mostly because me and my partner had a discussion about, I decided to be a content creator. I decided to make these kind of relationships build in this community. My husband did not. And he feels totally bad if people start sending him gifts and they don't know him. So instead, I said, if you guys really, really wanted to get something, you can totally buy something from my catalog, or I said catalog, but my wish list, and that will be books. He said he's okay with that because whatever you guys get me, he doesn't have to pay for it. So if you are dire to buy me something, you guys can definitely check out my wish list. And just so you guys know, Tom's okay with it. Moving on. Two other things. I just wanted to show you these cute things that I did for my wedding. I don't plan on posting the footage of the wedding. To be honest, I have yet to see the footage of my wedding, so I don't even know how that's going yet. But one thing I wanted to share with you all is a huge shout out to one of my closest friends, Rachel. She is my rock, my love bug, and she did two really special things that I did not know about for my wedding gift bags. So one of them was creating one of our own bookmarks, and when I say that was just like the cutest little twist to things, it says thank you for being a part of our story, and then it says on to the next chapter. Now I do have extras of these, so I'm just going to be using them as my own personal bookmarks. Lord knows I lose bookmarks like nobody business. So once again, Tom's like saving money from my wife. The other thing that her and her sister did was actually create stickers of me and Tom as a cartoon sketch, and I cannot wait to share these. Hold on. So here is my honeybee. This is supposedly Tom's cartoon, and then the other is me, of course. And can we talk about attention to detail, because she even got the glasses and my hair. Come on for the hair. And then last but not least, now this one was stuck on something else, my book journal, and like us as a couple, how cute is that? So yeah, just little cute corks from my wedding. I will talk more about my wedding probably in my vlog coming up pretty soon, but I just wanted to say very much thank you all for everything you guys have shared with us. I appreciate it. You guys have been on this journey with me, and it's the best. So that is it. That is all. Let's jump into this TBR of mine, this current reads of mine. I've even started reading some of these books already. I think I've finished 3 out of the pile already. So let's actually start with those. For those who are asking, let's start with happy Juneteenth, because that's coming soon, but also happy Pride Month to all my babies out there. So this month's theme, and for those who have not watched me before, I do a theme every month, and it's kind of incorporated with me trying to read all the books off of my shelves. So if I theme things, it'll force me to pick up books I normally wouldn't pick up. So let's jump into those first. So of course it's Pride Month, so I wanted to make sure I read some LGBT authors, but also I wanted to dive into some authors that I've never read before. So it was very specific this month. First book that I have is My Little Secret by Anna J. And I just finished this book last night. I stayed up for this. Y'all know I'm a grandma, so this was a lot for me. But basically, we have the main character who is married, and it is a marriage based on finances. She is all about the dollar. She is very comfortable. Yes, she has her own career. Yes, she has her own money, but 2 incomes is better than 1 in her opinion. Now, he is a chronicle cheater. He cheats on her with everyone, including women in his office. She is very aware of this. Therefore, she has started another relationship with a woman, and she is in love, and the sex is amazing. It is an incredible experience for her, and she is really trying to tabble between who should she be with, the person who brings her absolute pleasure in life or the person who makes her comfortable. And this was very interesting, and in the end, it's a good read. I strongly recommend it, but I just finished this book and it was juicy. That's all I'm gonna say. It was juicy. The next book is Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster, and it really talks about relationships that you're building and how you could be your own issue. It talks about physical relationships, but it also talks about romantic relationships and family and friendship relationships, which I think not enough people highlight in their stories. Is like that heartbreak of having like poor friendships. And with this one, I thought, oh, why not? I've never read this author before, and that really stuck with me. I think a lot of authors talk about romantic relationships, but they don't talk about the trauma of having bad friendships, right? And just the stigmatism around everybody should just be friends. I think I've said it a lot on this channel. Let's be comfortable with not being best friends with everybody. Protect your mental health. I will always say that to you guys, but some people are just not for you, and allow that to be the thing. Like, you're not for me, and I'm okay with that. I've said it on this channel multiple times. It's okay with not being cool with people, but it don't have to be beef. Like, I'm a fond believer in, we don't have to be friends, and it doesn't have to be an issue. Like, we just know we're not for each other. You know, I really appreciate that, and I cannot wait to jump into that book. The next book is called After Love, and this is such a romance. I've read so many reviews on this book, and I am really excited to jump into it. But basically, the one character is very in love with her friend, and everything about her exudes everything she wants in a relationship, and she is wanting to be with this woman after life loves continues. So there's more to the story. I didn't dive into the synopsis of this book on purpose because I really want to go into this blind. So I strongly am excited about this book. Just saying. All right, so those were the 3 books that I am going to be focusing on to make sure that I'm reading from my shelves, but also reading diversely. So those are the 3. Now, these are the books that I have also on my list. This is just a lot going on, y'all, okay? So the next book that I have is Black Diamond, and this one is by Brittany Williams. Now, this is one of the books from my mom's backlog. For those who don't know, I have been buying and purchasing books based on the books that my mom read when I was growing up. I was not old enough. I was not at that age. And some of these books, I still feel like I'm not old enough to be reading some of these books, but I digress. This one is about a character, Mecca. Yeah, Diamond and Mecca. So Diamond is a girl who basically moved into a new neighborhood. She made friends with Mecca and her brother. Mecca and her brother are in a very sticky situation, abusive household, all kinds of craziness going on. And Diamond, being in a relationship with her brother, basically convinces him, like, you don't deserve that, you deserve more. He takes things into his own hands, and it ends up being a criminal act. So that is not a spoiler. That is literally in the beginning of the book. But then you kind of see how their lives separate, but still end up in the same path. A lot of trigger warnings in this, a lot of erotica in this. Just be prepared. But I just finished this one as well, and I'm not gonna lie, this was extreme. This was extreme, so be prepared for that. Was it still a good read? I was turning the pages like nobody business. Most of these books I'd be finishing in like 2 days, so I recommend. All right, the next book that I'm going to be reading this month is by Tanzania Glover, and this is called Laundry Days. This is one of her novellas. I think I have another novella of hers in this grouping, but basically Darren and Sydney are neighbors, and they basically help each other on laundry day. Sid, he wants to be this master producer, while Darren's kind of a, what do they call it? The girl next door, but they're in LA. So, you know, people change when they get into kind of that Hollywood surrounding. And Sydney finds out after the fact that he is madly in love with her. They have laundry days together, and he finds himself looking at her differently and wanting to be with her, but people change over time. So he's not sure if the feelings are mutual. So very good, very good. I can't wait to get this done. I most likely finish it today. The next book that I have is The Good Luck Girls, and this is by Charlotte Nicole Davis. I have 2 copies of this. Don't ask me how I get that. They're 2 different covers. I think this is a redo or a remake of the cover, but I ended up getting both of these, but I never read the first one. And I have had this book on my book list so many times, and I never seem to get to it, so I'm prioritizing it this time. But it's basically about these girls who are, I think they're cursed together, and there's this situation where this guy, when they're at this, I don't know what it's called, I think it's like I wouldn't call it a school, but I'll just say a ward. So they're at this ward, and a guy dies, and they escape, and really they want to know what's going on. So they have these magical powers. There's a curse involved, but now they have like the human side hunting them down for criminal acts, but then you also have the magical side. So it's really complex, but I am going to read this book. I do not care about anything. I have had this book on many TBRs. I've yet to get to it. It has to happen. It just has to happen. So this one is called Bet on It. If you haven't seen it before, I recently just got this book, and it's basically about this girl and this guy. The girl is very close to his grandmother. They go bingo together. They go to casinos together, and she's very strict on what she sees in her life and what she accepts in life. But then her grandson comes to town. Now, they saw each other in the market prior to knowing that he was her grandson, and it was instant attraction. But then seeing him again with his grandma, and it's like, oh, you Graham's grandson. Okay, I got it. So I think it's gonna be cutesy. It's definitely a southern town, so I tend to like small town romances, so we'll see how this one goes. All right, the next book that I have is by Kristen White, and this is Slayer. This is, I think, an updated version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you guys know I love Buffy. Right here is my Buffy collection, if you can see that. But then I also have, where is it? At the top right here where that black spot is, that's also my Buffy collection. So I was a huge fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think it was just because it was my first kind of paranormal vampires-esque storyline that I saw on TV growing up. So I really love it, dear and near. I know that it doesn't kind of sit well with a lot nowadays, but back in the day I remember loving it. So I still have the books. I still read the books. So I told myself I was going to read this one. I do have part 2 of this book, so I really want to read this one and jump right into 2. That is not normal for me. You guys know I need that space between, but I'm hoping it's that good that I just jump from 1 to 2. We'll see. But yes, it is about the Slayer, and the Slayer being activated once every century or something like that, but multiple Slayers get activated. So I just really want to see how that's going to kind of play out. We'll see. The next book that I have is by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler, illustrated and author, but this is Cursed. Now, we know about the Netflix series. I really hope this sticker comes off. We know about the Netflix series. I was actually on vacation watching some Netflix shows that I've had on my list for a while, and this one popped up, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot about it. I totally did not read the book. Let me try to read the book and then watch the series, but I hope it's a good one. I don't know much about this storyline, to be honest. I just know that there was supposed to be like this great power, and it was supposed to be, hold on, let me actually pull this up. Whoever yields the sword, so the power is the sword itself, shall be the true king. But I think what happens is a woman pulled the sword. So do you mean queen? Just saying. winning. So those are kind of my priority reads for this month. I do have a backup group of books depending on how my mood is. You guys know I'm a huge mood reader. So the next book that I have on the mood list is The Main Course, and this is by Diane Davidson. Now, she is a notorious cozy murder mystery, and this one is a cutlery mystery, and this one's called The Main Course. Basically, a high profile account comes through for the caterer when they're really struggling. So it's really exciting, and everyone's like, yes, we're gonna make this money, we're gonna make this great event, but then someone dies. Someone dies, they're dead, they're gone. So we gotta figure out who did it, why they did it, and more to come. I have so many books in this series that I have yet to pick up, so this is gonna force me to start reading the series. Just saying. All right, the next book is actually gonna be a reread, and this is The Princess Trap. I listened to it the first time I read it, and I feel like I want to go back into this world just to make sure I got all the points. Now, this book is about Cherry, who is a fun, love-going girl who's just kind of out here living her best life, and she hooks up with this cutie, right? Like, oh my God, he's a baddie, let's do it. Not knowing that he is a prince, and things get real. Yes, it's the fake dating trope to love, and I want to see it all over again. Just saying. So the next book that I have is 90s Kind of Love, Lay Your Head on My Pillow by Tanzania Glover. Now, I did read her last Faded Fairy Tale series, and it was a lot of different interesting concepts there. I mean, just the attributes of Illinois, being in Chicago, being from Chicago, and how that applies to friendships, families, things like that. So I've really appreciated a lot of different perspectives that she puts into her writing. This one is going to be a woozy doozy, because I read Laundry Days, and I thought that was just the cutest story from a male perspective. I haven't read a lot of male perspective books, so it's very interesting to see love from a different angle. I guess that's how I'll say it. But super excited to get into this one. Alrighty, so last but not least, I literally picked this book up this morning and started reading it, and I was like, I'm gonna put this on the list. I've owned this book for so long. I actually have the entire series in it, and this is very interesting. So this one is called The Reawakening, or Reawakened. What am I talking about? The Reawakened. Come on, read it and stop reading like you're in college, skimming everything. The majestic tale will transport you. It says, a modern girl, an ancient price, a century-old curse, and an epic journey with more twists and turns than the Nile itself. This is giving me very much mummy phases. Now, I do not know what my obsession is with Egypt and just like the ancient Egypt history. I was obsessed with that in I want to say high school, and then the Mummy movies came out and I was obsessed with those too. So this is giving me very much Mummy vibes. It starts off with telling a detailed encounter of history, and it literally, I dove right in. So I'm excited, but that is literally all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what is one book you're very excited for. And thank you so much for watching. It's your girl, Books with Bonnie. I'm out.